hope you are doing great and you are ready for this presentation. I can see that. So
Yes, I
before
am very ready.
Yes, so before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience. So welcome on stage, Adeyinka Kilani. So, Adeyinka Kilani is trailblazer, intercessor, philanthropist, six-time Amazon International best-selling author, speaker, and geospatial specialist committed to creating sustainable change for future generations. With academic training in geography, planning, and geographic information, she leverages geospatial data to deliver secure environmental infrastructure solutions while empowering purpose driven leaders to make meaningful impact. Guided by faith and compassion, she is known for relatability, profound insight, and her dedication to uplifting her community, family, and professional networks. And she is from United States of America. So, welcome on stage, Adinka Kilani. The stage is all yours. Good luck.
Thank you very much. So, first thing first, thank you for having me and good evening, everybody. So, I'd just like to quickly correct something. I'm actually based in the UK and I am actually no longer a GIS analyst. I retired last year, towards the end of last year. So, let's get on with our talk conversation today. My name is Adeyinka Kilani and I am an autism mom. I am an MS warrior, and I generally just believe that even when we get challenges in life, it should not stop us from accomplishing what God has for us, what God has purposed us for. And I really want to just help all of us. I want us to be able to see our challenges as God's way of refining us and maybe creating a new version of us so that we can actually fulfill purpose. So today I'm going to be talking to us about being unstoppable, and it's going to be about leading with purpose when life tries to break us and how you rise anyway. I want to talk to us so we know that it's possible to still rise even in all our challenges. And most times, when these challenges come, many of us we're actually leading while we're still carrying things that no one can see. And today I want to talk to you about what it really takes to make you rise anyway. That even in all of these challenges, we can still accomplish great things. We can still do amazing things for God. We can still have an impact in our life. So, I'll just actually encourage us that all the unstoppable voices that are empowering women to lead with purpose, with passion and impact. That is what I want to talk to you about. That's what I want to encourage you about today. And I believe that once we actually accept our challenges, it becomes easy for us. So I'm talking to you actually from a place of vulnerability. I'm talking to you from a place of my lived experience, from the things that I have actually gone through in life. So my journey in health, because I've actually lived with multiple sclerosis now for, I think this is my 18th year since my diagnosis. And, I also have an autistic son. So I literally am a caregiver, but I have actually been able to navigate all of these challenges, even with because of my faith. Faith has played a very important role for me. So even in all of the pressure, even in all the challenges, I want you to know that the moments where even when you feel like you could quit, when you feel like, oh God, I don't think I can handle this anymore, that there's strength that comes from within. There's strength that the Lord gives us that we can actually stand and look those challenges in the face and still accomplish great things for God. So you know what are my core messages? What do I want to pass across to you today? Number one truth that I want to pass across to you is that purpose does not disappear in your pain. It actually gets refined. So you're not looking at your challenges and thinking, oh my God, I cannot accomplish anything. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. I want you to see those challenges as God's way of refining you. I want you to see it as God accomplishing, God doing, God working on you to actually do more than you can ask, more than you can imagine through you. He'll be he wants to make us a blessing to people. He wants to help us to, so that we can actually encourage people. We can actually be a source of strength to people. My second truth that I want to pass across to you is that your passion actually survives when you stop pretending that you're okay. When you accept that, look, this is my new reality, this is my new normal, God actually gives us the strength to actually navigate it. He gives us the strength to walk in that journey. He gives us the strength to face those things that come to break us. If we only just remain persistent, just keep showing up. That is my core message. And my final truth that I want to pass across to you is that your impact grows when you choose consistency over applause. Just keep showing up. I kid you not. If you can just continue to show up, even in the midst of the pain, even in the midst of the challenges, even when you're confused, when you're looking at life and you're like, God, why me? Why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. I don't, why am I the one going through all of this? It's not the end of the world. And it will not end in sorrow for you. Once you have a firm grip on God, once He knows that you know what, there's no going back on this. God is me and you all the way. I can tell you that things will begin to happen in your life. In my life now, I mean, well, I told you last year I had to retire because of my health challenges, and it was very painful work for me. It was so difficult that at some point I could not believe that, you know, a career that I built for almost 30 years just came to an abrupt end. And I literally had to hold on to God. I was like, God, you know what? I'm going to trust you in this journey. I'm going to trust you in this journey. And what I find is God is amazing. God is really amazing. About that time, my son's care arrangement actually collapsed and he came back home. So I realized that God already knew ahead of time what was going to happen to me. And He was working things out for me, even though I didn't realize it. So what did I end up doing? Okay, I stopped working, but then, it was almost like God started another career for me. You know, I really truly faced my writing, and the blessing that I got, the way that people now say, oh, Yinka, thank you. When every time I write, people are like, every time I read your chapter, I am so encouraged. So what am I telling you? What am I telling you? I want you to know that this is what resilience looks like. You're the one that is going to write your story. You're the one that is going to write the end chapter. You're the one that is going to actually determine how the story ends. If you can only just remain grounded in God, you are the one that writes your end chapter. You are the one that will now say, look, this is how I want things to be. This is how I want things to work out for me. This is how I want things to pan out in my life. God is amazing. Even at our darkest moment, at our lowest point in life, His presence never leaves us. And what I have found in my own journey, when I started writing, I did not know that I was going to, that my MS was going to, change things for me, that I was going to start having cognitive issues and I would not be able to continue working in my chosen field. But then I realized that because I had started writing, when I started writing during the COVID, and I wanted to just encourage people. I wanted to encourage people that were living with lifelong condition. I wanted to encourage people that had special needs children, all the families that have a special needs child. I thought, you know what? Let me share my story. So maybe I can actually give strength to somebody out there. I can actually tell them and encourage them that, look, it's not the end of the world. The fact that you have a special needs child does not mean you cannot still accomplish great things in life. It's hard work, yes, I know, but our God is so good. He can actually help you tweak those dreams, those aspirations you have, those things that you had, when you were those dreams that you had when you were growing up, that you were like, okay, I want to do this, I want to accomplish this. God, God's plan is always better. And when I finally gave up work and I faced my writing. It's been amazing. It's actually been such a mind blowing journey. So, what I'm telling you, what am I actually encouraging you today? That everything I have shared, it didn't come from a stage. It came from years of living it. It came from writing through it. It came from building tools for women who needed more than motivation. They needed companionship on the journey. So when it was almost like another chapter open for me. I even actually tell my friends, I'm like, look, you know what? It's like God released a new version of me. Because now, when I look at my old self and my new me now, I'm like, God, you're such an amazing father. Because the kind of strength that God has given me, now I can actually look I can tell anybody that is dealing with a lifelong condition that, look, it's not the end of the world. Fine, your body's failing you, but there's help out there for us. A lot of the time we just keep silent. Meanwhile, it is in talking about these things. It is in us sharing our journey. It is in us actually being able to draw strength from one another. That's how. That's why God created us. We're created for community. We're not meant to do life alone. We're not meant to do life alone. So once you can actually accept that, okay, you know what? This is my new normal. I kid you not. Strength will come from within. Strength will come from within, and you'll be able to navigate that issue. You'll be able to navigate all those challenges that life is throwing at you from different directions. You'll be able to say, you know what? Let's do this journey together. Let's walk this road together. So you and I don't need to be alone. We can actually still accomplish our great plans. All the great plans that God has in store for us. We can actually still do amazing things with our dreams. It's a bit God tweaks it, but then the plan He gives us is so much more better than what we were planning before. That thing that you wanted to accomplish. By the time God gives you His version of it, you will be wowed. You'll be like, God, I didn't see this coming. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you actually did this for me. So when I started writing, I started sharing my journey. I started talking about the things I've been through, the things that God has brought me out. And what I realized is when we talk about those things, we actually give comfort. We share our solutions so that people that are going through those things now, they can draw strength from it. And they know that, look, you know what? If Yinka can come out of it, I can also come out of it. So I just encourage you today. If you look at that thing that you were dreaming about, that your big plan, God is able to tweak it for you such that the joy and the satisfaction you get from it cannot compare to what it is that you wanted to accomplish in the first instance. God's version of your dream is actually so much more better than what you are, what you were planning before. So what did I now start doing? Now I just decided, you know what? Let me face my writing. And I thought, you know what? Let me use my journey to, let me start talking about my journey, my life's journey, so that other people can draw strength from it. So that's why I wrote all the, I've written in about, I think I've written in about maybe 9 or 10 anthology book projects. Yes, I think I've done 9 anthology book projects, and that's why my new book that is coming out soon, Echoes of Resilience. I thought, you know what? Let me help families that are going through when that a loved one is going through a nervous health breakdown, because I experienced it when I was growing up. My mom had a nervous breakdown, and it was a very difficult journey for us. So I thought, you know what? If at that time I was going through it, I had all these tools. I had this, I had somebody to guide me through it. I probably would have actually been a lot better. I think our outcome would have been a lot better. So I thought, let me write about it. Maybe the families out there that I can encourage, that I can, actually tell them that, look, the earlier you start treatment, the better the better the outcome. And I want people to see that, medical science is our friend, because there's a lot of guilt we carry. But like, oh, you know what? I want God to heal me. I want God to remove this illness. But you know what? God is actually such an amazing Father. God is an amazing Father. Switch it on. God is an amazing Father. He's such a good God that He makes all things beautiful at its own time. God is He will do it in such a way that you will be amazed. You'll be like, God, I didn't see this coming. I did not know that you were going to do all this for me. And you will look back and your life you will marvel at how God is able to turn your story around. You will look back and you'll be like, God, thank you for doing this amazing thing for me. Thank you for turning my life around. Thank you for making everything beautiful in my life. So what I just decided to do is, I'm actually developing a course as well. I'm developing a course, and I just want to just help people, everybody, every special needs family, the strength that God gave me raising my son. My son he's 18 now, and you guys will see that he switched off the lights a couple of minutes ago. He's quite, anytime he doesn't understand things, so you just have to walk around it. So I decided, let me share my story. Let me encourage people. Let me just stop people. Let them know that, look, as we're going through all of these challenges, there's this unstoppable voice. It's not loud, and it's not the loudest voice in the room, but it's a voice that keeps showing up. Even when life whispers, give up, give up, give up, give up, you don't give up. You just keep hanging on there. You keep telling God that, Lord, God, I know you have a better plan for me. And if you're still standing, if in spite of all your challenges, you're still standing, I want you to know that your voice still matters. Your voice still matters. You're unstoppable. You can actually accomplish great things with your life, even in the midst of your challenges, even in the midst of all the things that you're going through. God can still do wonders through you and even in your life. So we hold on to God. We hold on to, you know, the hope that medical science will continue to bring new treatments, new alternative therapies, and things that will make life easier for us and our children. So, in closing, I want to just encourage all of you. That unstoppable voice that you have, it's not the loudest. It's a voice that keeps showing up. It's a voice that, even in the midst of it, you're still standing. You still say, Lord, my voice still matters. I can still do amazing things with your help. And, I just want to assure you that at the end of it, you're going to find joy, unspeakable joy. Is going to begin to flow out of you like rivers of living water, that you can actually look back and you'll be like, God, I see what you're doing. God, I see how you work this out for me. I see how you're an amazing God. I see how you're able to turn things around. That scripture that says that, you know even in the midst of all our challenges, we fall down 7 times, but we arise. Even in all of those that are falling, that's the kind of God we serve. He's able to help us accomplish great things in our lives. So one thing I want you to take away from this my conversation with you, that if life tried to silence you, but you're still here, you're still believing, you're still leading, you're still hoping, that your voice is not just unstoppable, your voice is necessary. Your voice is necessary. I want you to go away from this, my conversation with you, knowing that indeed you're unstoppable. Your voice is necessary. Your voice is needed. There's people that are depending on you. I actually feel that, when we come out of a storm, when we come out of challenges, when God has brought us through, and we have come out and we're shining as gold, our testimony doesn't belong to us anymore. It actually belongs to the people that are in that situation that you have come out of. So that by the time you're sharing your story, people are like, they can actually draw strength from it. They can they can wake up from their, and say, God, if you could do it for this person, then you can also do it for me. So I want to just encourage you. Just believe God. So rising, I'll just conclude with this. Rising isn't a moment, it's a daily decision. Because every day life will be throwing challenges at us. So we'll celebrate unstoppable women, but no one tells us what it costs. We celebrate people that are showing up, but we don't really know what they paid, the price they paid. So what I'm saying is I didn't become resilient because life was kind. In fact, life wasn't kind to me at all. I became resilient because I refused to disappear. I refused to accept that, you know what, even though one side of my body isn't quite functioning well, I could still do much for God. The part of me that is still working, my voice that is still working, God can still use it. And that made the difference. Refuse to disappear. Refuse to disappear. That's what I can actually tell you now. Once you make up your mind that, you know what, even in the midst of these challenges, I refuse to disappear. So what am I concluding with? We need to lead with purpose. We need to lead with passion. We need to live and make an impact even through our adversities, even through all our challenges, through all the things we face in life. God is such a good God and He's an amazing Father. So I actually end with this. I want to encourage you to go and rise anyway. So I end my conversation today by just, I want to just talk a little bit about, the books I've written, and I want to just encourage you to go and rise anyway. So, if you continue, as we continue this journey, if all of you, any of you want to continue this journey with me, I encourage you to get some of my books on Amazon. We've got loads of, I've got like 9 anthology projects. I've got my first solo book project, um that one I wrote about my journey, of coming to a place of acceptance of my son's autism, and it was a difficult journey for me. But then I had to find strength inside, and so that one, when the one I talk about my son's autism journey and how I came to the place of acceptance is titled "When Your Promise Comes with a But," because our promise, God's promise to us is beautiful, is powerful. God has big plans for us. But then when that small bug comes, it aims to break us, to make us give up. But we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up. We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep showing up and we're going to keep doing amazing things for our God. And we can actually continue to you know to draw strength from one another. We can continue to encourage one another. The more we talk about these things, the more we were able to break out of the shame and the stigma and all the things that come with being diagnosed with one illness or the other. We can actually draw strength from one another. So what am I concluding with? Let's trust God. Let's trust God. He makes us unstoppable. Even in the midst of our challenges, God makes us unstoppable. So, I've got the link to my books in the presentation. If you want, any copy of it, and I want to encourage all of you to actually connect with me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter, on as Yinka Kilani. And every day I try to encourage people that look, even in the midst of the storm, you can still accomplish great things for God. You can still do wonderful things for God. So what I'm going to conclude with, and I hope all of you will try and download a copy of my 7-day journal that I've made available free, you know, for now. I want to encourage you to download a copy of it. It's actually um it's 7 day of guided prayer and reflection. It's a journey, I think it will, I mean, I've written it with women in mind, but men can also benefit from it because we want us to be leading even through our adversity, even through the challenges that life throws at us. So what will you experience from this my devotional? You're going to have, reflections that are rooted in scripture. You're going to have the guided prompts to build your clarity and your confidence. You're going to get affirmations that's to strengthen your posture of leadership. You're going to get, gentle spiritual anchors for difficult seasons. Because I kid you not, difficult season will always come. It will always come. But you know what? God is with us, and we're going to come out shining as gold on the other side. So I attached a copy of my free journal. There's a copy that you can there's a link on the presentation that you can just click on and download your free copy of Rise Anyway. Because I want to encourage you to rise even in the midst of your challenges. Thank you very much. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. So I'm going to allow if anybody has any questions, I think the room is now open for us to ask questions. Any question you want to ask me? Thank you. Anyone that has any question, please. I am here to take any of your questions. Anything you want to clarify, or anything you feel will help you come out of that difficult season that you're in. Melinda, over to you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session. We truly appreciate your contribution for this event. And yeah, we do have a question from the audience. So here is the question.
Yes. What's the question?
How to inspire and lead the life like successful?
Yes. So that's a good question, actually. I believe one of the first thing we need to do is accept that God is good. That even in our challenges, He actually, all things will eventually work out for good. Even if there are days where you feel like, you know what, God, this is not, this cannot be happening to me. I feel like if we only just remain and allow God to finish His work in our lives, it's almost like He's releasing a new version of us. He's actually turning things around for us and making us better versions of ourselves, such that even in the midst of challenges, we can still stand strong. We can still accomplish great things for God. That even in the seemingly, you know, difficult things that you're going through, even if your body's failing you and you're like, God, I don't understand what's happening to me. Just keep showing up. That's all I can say in short. Keep showing up, keep believing, and keep holding on to God. He's He's a faithful God. He never leaves us and He never forsakes us. I hope that answers your question.
You have
Keep
answered
showing up.
the question. Thank you so much for answering the great question. Whoever asked this question, I hope he received the answer. Thank you so much for joining the Stay for Global Virtual Summit 2026. Your presentation makes a very difference to the audience, and very insightful topic you have chosen. So thank you so much for joining, and have a great day.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure. So if you could let me post the link to the journal so that anybody that wants a copy of it can actually get a copy as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye bye.